Hello, my name is Sierra Gutierrez Cueva, and in this creative critical review, I will be going over various subjects about my trailer. How my trailer uses conventions and represents social issues. By starting off, my movie is named Quarantine. A lot of people say that eyeballs are windows to the soul. By looking into someone's eyes, you can really see what they're going through and how they're feeling. You might even say that you can see someone if they're slowly going crazy and losing their mind or not, just by looking into their eyes. Having a picture of an eyeball symbolizes that the main character is going crazy, and you can see this as you're watching the trailer. Our trailer was defying stereotypes of how women are perceived to be more emotional than men. We see this because the main character, Emily, was slowly going crazy throughout the whole trailer. If we didn't have to conform to the 2-minute mark, my partner and I would have added a scene with not only women going crazy, but men as well. And men feel this way too sometimes, but it's not always shown because it could be perceived as weak. My genre, me and my partner targeted when making the trailer, is a psychological thriller. Although we were not specifically inspired by any certain works of this genre, instead we were inspired by the genre itself. How my trailer engages with the audience and how it would be distributed as a real media product. After doing some research, we concluded that we should choose Blumhouse Productions to produce our movie. Blumhouse Productions have a history of producing all types of movies, but they are best known for their psychological thrillers. Blumhouse Productions have made popular movies like Insidious, Black Phone, or Get Out, and many more. We would also make a social media account for various platforms to post about the movie and make it interactive with fans so people keep building up their curiosity. What I would do to advertise the product is to create an account on various social media platforms. With this account, I will post entertaining clips about the movie to grab more viewers. I would also create a catchy hashtag and have people talk about their experience during quarantine, and we would repost some of them on the official quarantine account. Not only can this take off, but it would also cost no money to promote the product unless we pay the platforms to make it into a big ad. But planning this correctly, people may just advertise the movie itself without the intention of doing it in the first place. So I may just want to post the catchy hashtag and not might realize that it's about our movie. Creating more attraction and the hashtag can really take off, and people would be interested into the movie itself with this hashtag. Our target audience when making the film is all the folks who experienced going through quarantine and felt lonely. This film is based on the fact that the main character is quarantined alone, and it feels like they're slowly going crazy because they've been isolated by many social activities. People from all over the world would be able to watch this because at some point the whole world has been on lockdown, and having to stay home 24/7 is not something anyone is used to. People probably felt like they changed a lot after quarantine because they were by themselves for so long, not being able to interact with people in person for a long time. A lot of people can probably relate to having their mental health decline during lockdown. How my production skills developed throughout this whole project is that in the beginning of the school year, I was not aware that every minor little detail had a job, and it can really make or break the scene. I went to this class thinking that a good scene is because there's a good actor. I never really thought much else. Although good acting is just as important as getting the lighting, the music, and camera angles to create a certain emotion for the scene, I became a better filmmaker by learning how to better use an angle to create a certain emotion and effect to a scene. I learned how to make an ending better for a film, and knowing the difference between how to leave an audience wanting for more and not leaving them confused. I learned that to make a scene more interesting rather than just filming everything all in one angle is that for one motion or for one action, you can use various angles to get your idea across. I also learned the importance of color and lighting within a scene. Everything builds off from each other, and it's important to know what each job does so you can really elevate a scene. What I learned during our trailer is that the music and angles and lighting are just as important as the acting. I know this was mentioned before, but I wanted to emphasize how important all these little details are for a scene. You can have a good actor, but without the other effects in the film production, all the magic is gone and you will feel no emotion throughout the whole scene. The lighting attracts onlookers. Light has the power to draw emphasis on some parts of a scene. By providing a range of emotions and points of view, they enhance storytelling. How a character appears stronger in a lower angle, but weaker in a higher angle. The inclusion of music can stir up specific feelings among viewers and help them relate to a movie. Music can also help with foreshadowing and a hint at the emotions of the characters. All of these build off of each other, creating a powerful scene, and viewers would be able to understand how the director wants them to feel. While we were in class, my partner and I discussed what our next step would be when creating our trailer. Although my group was just me and someone else, since we had such busy lives outside of school, it was a struggle to find a date for both of us to film together. But that didn't stop us from getting our work done. We decided to each film our parts outside of school by ourselves. In class, we would discuss whose job it was to film a scene and send each other videos of our progress and see if we needed to refilm it. Since my partner, Andrea, chose to edit the videos, I would send her all the videos I filmed and I shortened them to the only necessary parts that would be included to make her job easier. Since taking this class, I've already noticed sudden changes as I dive into the world of film. I can only imagine how far I have progressed by the time I leave this class. When I watch movies or short films, I start to analyze and think about what they can do better to elevate a scene, or I appreciate what they added and get inspired to interpret it into my own work. I do all of this on autopilot. It became a habit of mine, and this happened because of this class. How I integrated technology into my trailer. The equipment that we used to film our trailer was our very own phones. We both have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and this works perfectly fine for our film. We used it mainly on the cinematic filter, and it really helped with the saturation we were going for in our film. We also used the school laptop to edit all our scenes. What I learned from using technology is how blessed we are nowadays that we can create something with just our phones. Although using a camera is better and probably preferred, if you are on a budget, using your phone is just as good if you know how to use it correctly. You don't need expensive equipment to make a quality video. You just need to learn how to work with the lighting, angles, and music to your favor. Knowing how to use all these things, it won't matter if you use your cell phone to film because not many people would be able to tell the difference.
This is a picture of a sunset that I took when I had a trip to the beach. I took this picture to admire the beautiful sunset, but I was curious if I could make such a breathtaking, delicate sunset into something scary and gloomy. For the picture I edited, I took the exposure, brilliance, highlights, and shadows down. Then I made the contrast a little bit higher, and then made the brightness just a tad bit lower. Later, I made the black point saturation a little bit darker. I brought more warmth, tint, sharpness, and definition, noise reduction, and vignette. That is the process I went through from taking a beautiful, quiet photo into something dark and mysterious.
After all, I'm very pleased for how the trailer came out, and I hope that one day I'll be able to recreate it in a much larger scale.